Brian Lusk. Thank you for joining me this morning. This is an unusual one for me. I'm in the middle of my morning commute, which is a lot of highway time, so there's a lot of opportunity to talk at various points. But more specifically, some pretty big news just came out of Ukraine, and I wanted to address it while I had the chance. It's now I'm kind of in the hinterland over here, so internet service may be up, down, hit, miss, uncertain. But overall, you should be okay here for at least for the initial bit here. So the big news, and understand I'm going to have to do all of this off the cuff because I don't have documents or things in front of me. So the big news is that overnight, Dnipro, the city, was struck by what's either reported, depending on who you believe, as an intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM, or an intermediate range ballistic missile. So either one is still pretty big news because ICBMs and IRBMs have never been used in combat before. Now, understand the information's still kind of hinky, so give me a little bit to kind of run through what I know and don't know real fast here. The sources I'm seeing say it was likely an RS-26. Now, going from memory on this, the RS-26 is just barely an intercontinental ballistic missile, meaning I think it has a range of 5,800 kilometers, and I believe the cutoff is 5,500 kilometers for intercontinental. Bear with me. But it was used at a range of only 800 kilometers, which means it may have been modified specifically for close range, well, for ICBM ranges, close range work. This is pretty big news. Now, this is a nuclear capable missile, which means that when it impacted in Dnipro, the warheads that were used were non-nuclear. They were conventional, either just mass or dummy mass or something, or just conventional smaller explosives. The report was about 1.5 tons of warhead mass, and I can't show you the video because I'm kind of in the middle of things over here. But if you watch the video, it looks like there's about 6 separate entries, which makes it a MIRV, or multiple entry vehicle there, type of warhead. The thing is, the RS-26, as I understand, only can carry four, let's try that again with 4 fingers, can only carry 4 of them, not 6. So is this instead a new type of missile? Well, that's yet to be determined. More importantly, though, there's still the question of how it got delivered. They say it came from the Astrakhan region of Russia. So again, relatively short range use of it here. And more than that there's also been reports that it was actually an air-launched cruise missile instead. So we've got multiple stories with multiple perspectives. I think it's been fairly confirmed that it's at least an intermediate range ballistic missile that was used, one of Russia's nuclear capable ones. Now, the funny part was that they had their spokesperson, whose name escapes me right now, on TV doing a briefing, and all of a sudden she gets a phone call. And on the phone call, which is clearly audible on the microphone, they say, "Don't talk about the ICBM launch that we used to attack Ukraine." So that looked really staged. But, either way, Russia's claiming it was a successful ICBM launch with an impact in Dnipro. Now, the damage is, during the call, this faked or staged call, as far as I can tell, they did indicate that they hit a manufacturing plant. However, the Ukrainians have not confirmed that as of the time of this recording. So the damage report has actually been that a convalescent facility, a hospital, where soldiers were being recovering from basically having limbs blown off and things like that. They were putting on their prosthetics. There we go, and learning how to use them. That this was the actual facility that was impacted during this attack by an intercontinental ballistic missile. Either in the long run, this is a very expensive missile, and the truth is that from a purely tactical perspective, it has no use. There is no point in using this except for to send a message to the West. It wasn't to send a message to Ukraine because Ukraine's already getting bombed. They're not sending any more message with the big old honking ICBM than they were sending with much cheaper and much smaller missiles, rockets, and bombs. No, this is a message to the West saying that, yes, we could have put a nuclear bomb on the end of that, a nuclear tip on that missile. And if we can successfully use this, well, then clearly our nuclear threats still have bite. The thing is that the moment Russia uses an actual nuclear anything, the odds are China's going to go absolutely ballistic, and I don't mean missile. Because my understanding is that Xi Jinping is big into, does not want nuclear war. It's bad for business. It's bad for China. It's bad for the world. Favor. Because that would indicate they have a nuclear-armed madman across the border. Now, some people like to say that Vladimir Putin is stupid. Others say that he's cunning. In my opinion, I think Vladimir Putin is feeling a little bit cornered now. His entire economy is based on this warfare at this point in time, and the moment he stops trying to blow things up, odds are that the house of cards are going to collapse. Now, everybody always talks about the collapse of Russia, like it's going to happen today, tomorrow, the next day. I'm not going there that far. All I'm saying is that this move by Vladimir Putin was meant to be a message to the West, but it's also a tremendous waste of resources. Hi, Ozzy. Glad to see you on board. Doing a quick live stream on a commute, so there won't be any, you won't be able to see the news or things like that I'm looking at, because I'm not looking at anything. I'm looking at the road. But this message is really going to be more for the Western audience and for their domestic audience, not for Ukraine at all. In fact, I don't think there was any message sent to Ukraine by this. But there was a big one sent to the domestic audience that Russia's nuclear saber rattling still has some bite. And to the West, it says, yes, we can actually launch these missiles. And that's my thoughts on the news this morning. Now, I'm going into a kind of a rough coverage zone, so I'm going to go ahead and call it this morning. But thank you for joining me. Let me know if you appreciated this kind of a quick live stream during the commute, talking about either what specific bit of news or just whatever I can remember off the top of my head. Let me know in the comments below. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next video. If I can remember how to turn this off.